शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानामेकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. लोकवीर्यं महापूज्यं सर्वरक्षाकरं विभुं पार्वती हृदयानन्दं शास्तारं प्रणमाम्यहं। स्वामिये शरणमय्यप्पा। वागर्ताविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्तप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्रीपार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं कूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं। नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषनभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं चक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं। श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशीविभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പീടേണ്ടാത്തോരു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ Krishna Hare Jaya Krishna Hare. Good evening, everyone. Okay, since we have only a limited audience today, so we'll just directly jump in. So 93, we had finished up to 6. So we'll finish that and then we'll get to 94. We'll see how much we can finish. Okay, first off, Sundari, you can be student. Vijaya, you can be student first off. Okay. So stanza 7. Vartiyatyaktamaanah सुखमतिशिशुवन्निस्सहायश्चरेयं कन्याया एकशेषो वलय इव विभो वर्जितान्योन्यघोषः त्वच्चित्तो नावबुद्ध्यै परमिषु कृति वक्ष्माभृदाया न घोषम् गेहेष्वन्यप्रणीतेषु अहिरिव निवसान्युन्दरोर्मन्दिरेषु. So from the last class, right, we've been following kind of the lessons that you can learn from the 24 gurus. The gurus being the people who you observe literally around, including all the animals and the birds, and we started seeing through each of them. So here now, yes, he's continuing it. So first he says is Shishu. Shishu is a small child, right? So when you look at small children, so they are not too bothered, with honor, dishonor. They are not worried too much about those things. And plus, incident happens, they just keep moving on, right? They don't kind of carry that along with them, right? So he says that is what, like all the anxieties that we actually have today as we start becoming adults is we carry that burden with us all the time and we start worrying about everything. The kids don't worry. I'm talking about really small children. They don't worry. They don't have a concept. They just go on with their life as they live the life as is. Like we also say, should live like a child, enjoy the moment, right? That's exactly what he's also saying here. He's saying just like a child, by observing the child, that's what I'm actually seeing. The second is he talks about Kanyaya. So he tells a story about a young girl, right? And what he's telling us, there was this girl or woman, whatever, teenager, right? And one who's ready for marriage at that age, and she's in the kitchen. So some people come to her house. So she has to go and break the husk, right? They has to break the rice or whatever. So because there is no food, so she doesn't want them to know that there is no food. So what she does is when she's actually breaking it, right? Her bangles on the both hands are rubbing against each other, creating noise. So she says, you know what? That means they'll come to find out that I'm breaking the rice. So what she does is she removes her bangles, and she has two bangles. But even then, when she's breaking it, even those two bangles rub against each other and creates noise. So she removes even that one bangle, and she only does it with one bangle. Then there is no noise, right? So the example he's telling here is, it is like when you are in a big group, there are bound to be disagreements and problems you cannot escape from. Even if you're only two people living with each other, there are bound to be disagreements and problems. So he says eventually you should be like Kanyaya Ekashesho Valaya. Like the girl who's just wearing that one bangle, then nobody knows what is happening. She can live a life with no distractions. You also eventually have to lead a life like that with no arguments. That's really the intention. The intention is fighting and arguments and everything, right? That's what he's trying to refer here. Then the third one he talks about is like a person who's working on the arrow for a king. He's so focused that even when the king passes by, he doesn't actually realize that the king has passed by because he's so focused on it. So he says, similarly, make my mind so absorbed in the Lord that I don't get distracted with anything else, right? And then the fourth one, again, he references like Ahi is a snake. So the snake doesn't go and build a house for itself. It just goes around anywhere it finds a hole, it goes into the hole. In fact, most of the time, where a rat has made a hole, it goes into that hole and stays. So similarly, I don't want to be accumulating houses and having multiple houses. And that's what even the sages used to do in the previous, in olden days, like we said, right? Is they don't stay in a place for more than 3 days, like we said, because they don't want to get attached to a place. So they keep moving around constantly. So that's what he says. So that's what I'm learning from a snake. So Varteya Tyaktamanaha, Sukhamati Shishu Van Nissahayash Chareyam, Kanyaya Ekashesho Valaya Iva Vibho, Varjitanyonya Ghoshaha. That word is one word, Varjitanyonya. Vartehyaktamanaha Sukamati Shishuvan Nissahayashchareyan Kanyaya Ekashesho Valaya Iva Vibho Varjitanyonya Ghoshaha.
Varteyatyaktamanaha Sukhamati Shishuvan Nissahayashchareyan Kanyaya Ekashesho Valaya Iva Vibho Varjitanyonya Ghoshaha. Varteyatyaktamanaha Sukhamati Shishuvan Nissahayashchareyan Kanyaya Ekashesho Valaya Iva Vibho Varjitanyonya Ghoshaha.
அந்த இடத்துல வந்து Shishuvan Nisahayash.
Nisahayash. If you have a visarga, put a ish there. Nisahayash chareyam.
Nisahayash.
Chareyam.
Okay. Varteya tektamanaha sukamati shishuvannish sahaya shreyam.
Chareyam. Chareyam.
Okay.
Chareyam.
Shishuvannish shareyam कन्याया शेषो वलय इव विपो वर्चितान्योन्यकोशः वर्तेयत्यक्तमानः सुखमतिशिशुवन्निस्सहायश्चरेयं कन्याया एकशेषो वलय इव विपो वर्चितान्योन्यकोशः
Tvachitto nava buddhyai, comma, paramishu kridiva kshma bhridayana. So it's not a full ksha, it's a half ksha. So kshma bhridayana ghosham, comma, geheshvanya praniteshu. So that ish and va that you have here, remove that, put a shu, short u. So geheshvanya praniteshu, comma, next word starts with the a. Ahiriva nivasan yundaror mandireshu. Tvachitto navabudhyai paramishu kritivakshma bhridayana ghosham geheshvanya praniteshu ahiriva nivasan yundaror mandireshu.
Rajesh, is it Nivasan Yundu or Yunda?
Yundu.
Yeah, Yundu. Okay. Tvachitto navabuddhyai paramishu krudivakshmabhrudayana ghosham geheshvanya praniteshu ahiriva nivasan yunduror mandireshu. Tvachitto navabuddhyai paramishu krudivakshmabhrudayana ghosham geheshvanya praniteshu ahiriva nivasan yunduror mandireshu.
त्वच्चित्तो नावपुत्यै परममिषुकृति वक्ष्माप्रदायानघोषम् हेषेवन्य प्रणितेषु अहिरिव निवसान् युन्दुरोर्मन्दिरेषु त्वच्चित्तो नावपुत्यै परमिषु कृति
The paramishu kridiva is one word, and then kshmabrita, that's a separate word.
Shamabrita.
So think of like it starts with a K. Kshmabrita.
Kshmabrita.
Yeah.
Paramishu kridiva
KSHMA. Kshma.
Kshmabrita Yanakosham Keheshvanya Paridheshu Ahiriva Nivasan Yunduror Mandireshu.
And the fourth line, first word, praniteshu.
Pranidheshu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say, Tvaihevat Tvatkritam Tvam Kshapayasi Jagatid Yurnana Bhat Pratiham Tvachinta Tvatswarupam Kuruta iti Dhridam Shikshahe Peshakarat Vidbhasmatma cha deho Bhavati Guruvaro Yo Vivekam Viraktim Dhatte Sancintyamano Mamatu Bahuruja Piditoyam Visheshat. So he's continuing. The next one, he tells the example of a spider. So the spider right? When there's nothing and you just have a spider, suddenly out of its own body, the web comes and then it creates the entire web. And then the entire web, it can actually go back into the spider's body also. So he says that is proof to me. If a spider can do that, then you, O Lord, as Brahman, you are the one from whose entire body the world is coming and into whose body the entire world is getting merged as well. That's a very natural comparison. So then the second one he talks about is a beetle. So, like there's always this thing, right? That when you're about to die, and if you can remember it and follow it, great. Otherwise, it's very hard also. So if whatever you think at the time of your death, right? Whatever your mind, the state it is in, that is what you end up getting the birth. Like if you want to be a rich person, right? So then you will end up, that'll be an opportunity you will get. So it's kind of what you want. And constantly when you keep thinking about something, you become that form itself. And there are a lot of examples of, teachings where it says that. So the example he's giving here is, and I don't know how this is, maybe one of you who's, is good in biology or something can explain. So he says the example of a beetle, he says the beetle brings a worm and puts the worm into its hole and then keeps on knocking on that surface of it. And then the worm, who's constantly afraid of the beetle, eventually becomes like a beetle. So I don't know, maybe it's like the smaller version of the beetle, which it comes and puts it, and then it grows, right? So maybe one of you can research and tell me that exact explanation. But anyway, the example he's giving is, if you constantly keep thinking about the Lord, then you will also attain the form of the Lord. That's the only way to get there. You have to constantly keep thinking about it, right? That is the second one. And then so if you add all of these things, and you can go add later, right? Amongst all in each of the stanzas, what all came, it comes to 24. So there are 25 gurus, right? He says there are 24 are these 24 gurus. Then Bhattatripad is adding the 25th guru in this. So because I remember I told you about Krishna is telling the story to Uddhava about a king who's asking a sage, right? And the sage says, I'm seeing all these things and I have learned my lessons. So that sage is talking about 24 gurus. So this is the 25th guru, which Bhattatripad is telling here. He's saying, of course, naturally, my body is my 25th guru. Because he said that, this body, I have realized looking around, he says, my body is in such a bad state, right? With all this rheumatoid arthritis and everything I have come. And it's filled with filth. It is ready to be burned to ashes. And what it has given me, it's been a great teacher for me. Because from this, I've seen that there's so many diseases and everything that people and everybody have, that you have to learn to understand that this is not permanent, and then this is not you, right? And then you have to learn to not worry too much about your body, because it's all going to go one day. So that is the 25th lesson that Bhattatripad is adding as a 25th guru here. So Tvayeva Tvat Kritam Tvam, Kshapayasi Jagadit Yurna Nabhat. So you can't break it. Jagadit Yurna Nabhat Pratiyam, Tvat Chinta Tvat Swarupam Kuruta iti, Dhridam Shikshaye Peshakarat. Tvayeva Tvat Kritam Tvam Kshapaisi Jagadit Yurna Nabhat Pratiyam Tvat Chinta Tvat Swarupam Kuruta iti, Dhridam Shikshaye Peshakarat.
त्वय्येव त्वत्कृतं त्वं क्षपयसि जगदित्यूर्णनाभात् प्रतीयां त्वच्चिन्ता त्वत्स्वरूपं कुरुत इति दृढं शिक्षये पेशकारात् त्वय्येव त्वत्कृतं त्वं क्षपयसि जगदित्यूर्णनाभात् प्रतीयां त्वच्चिन्ता त्वत्स्वरूपं कुरुत इति दृढं शिक्षये पेशकारात्.
त्वय्येव त्वत्कृतं त्वं शपयसि जगति भूयूर्नाभात् प्रीतियां प्रतीयां त्वच्चिन्ता त्वत्स्वरूपं कुरुत इति दृढं क्षये पेशकारात् त्वय्येव त्वत्कृतं त्वं शपयसि जगति यूर्णनाभात् प्रतीयां त्वच्चिन्ता त्वत्स्वरूपं कुरुत इति दृढं शिक्षये पेशकारात्.
Bid Bhasmatma cha deho, comma, bhavati guruvaro, yo vivekam viraktim, comma, dhatte sancintyamano, comma, mama tu bahu ruja piditoyam visheshat. Vidbhasmatma cha deho, bhavati guruvaro, yo vivekam viraktim, dhatte sancintyamano, mama tu bahurucha piditoyam visheshat.
विद्भस्मात्म च देहो भवति गुरुवरो यो विवेकं विरक्तिं धत्ते संचिन्त्यमानो मम तु बहुरुजा पीडितोऽयं विशेषात् विद्भस्मात्म च देहो भवति गुरुवरो यो विवेकं विरक्तिं धत्ते संचिन्त्यमानो मम तु बहुरुजा पीडितोऽयं विशेषात्
இங்க இங்கன்னு சொல்லணும்.
Bit.
வித்பஸ்மாத்மா ச தேஹோ பவதி குருவரோ யோ விவேகம் விரக்தம் தத்தே சிந்தியமானோ மம து பஹுருஷா ருஜா பீடிதோயம் விசேஷாத் விசேஷாத் वित्पस्मात्मा च देहो भवति गुरुवरो यो विवेकं विरक्तिं धत्ते संचिन्त्यमानो मम तु बहुरुजा बीडितोऽयं विशेषात्.
That's right. Hi me deha moham tyaja pavana puradhisha yat prema hetoho gehe bitte kalatra dishu cha vivashitaha tvatpadam vismaranti soyam vanneshu no va paramiha paratah sampratam chakshi karna tvajjhvadhya vikarshantyavashamata itah kopina tvatpadhabje. So he's saying because of the continuation of the 25th guru, right? He says the problem with this body is, we every human being, right? They start accumulating a lot of things with the primary purpose of serving one's body. See, because if you're completely sick and bedridden, let's say, you won't feel like going and making a lot of money because it's of no use. You cannot enjoy, right? But when you're healthy, you feel like I need to have more money. I need to take care of my spouse. I need to take care of my children. I need to take care of everything. I need a house. I need a car. The list keeps going on. So he says it's not just, but he says most of the times people don't realize it is only for your own self gratification. So you feel that I need to do this so that they will be happy, right? That's the example of the Vishwamitra story also, right? Like he goes and then his wife and all say, why are you doing all this? Is for you. And she says, but will you take the pabam I get? They say no, right? So nobody will say, everybody says you are doing it for your purpose. So he says everybody does it only for their sense gratification, for their own body gratification. And what also happens is this body also pulls you in different directions. Like tongue we spoke about, that's the number one culprit. It pulls you in all the different ways. And then he similarly talks about everything that then any sensory pleasure you have, right? All of this pulls you in different directions, and what it does is it moves you away from focusing on the Lord. And he says at the end, when the body dies, it's only worth for the dogs to eat or for the fire to burn it. That's all. This whole body is going to be worth it. So even after the body is gone, it's of no use. And even when the body is there, it pulls you in all these different directions and not able to focus on you. So he says, please, he may deha moham. So please, O Pavana Puradisha, eliminate this affection I have towards my body. Because that is the number one reason that people are not focused towards God, is they're so attached to their own body that they're building up all these different things, while this body is actually going to be worthless after they die. And more important thing, all the things you do while the body becomes worthless, all the karma you have accumulated is going to go on. Just like how a tree may die, but it may still plant a seed and the seed becomes another tree, your karma still carries on. So he says, don't waste this body, put it to good use. So he may deha moham tyaja pavana puradhisha yat prema hetoho. So put a visarga there in comma, and that line is continuous. Next line on top of that gehe, there's a ir that goes away. Gehe bitte kalatrādishu cha vivashitaha. The is that is there, remove it, visarga comma, vivashitaha, tvat padam vismaranti. Hi me deha moham tyaja pavana puradhisha yat prema hetoho gehe vitte kalatra dishu cha vivashitaha tvat padam vismaranti.
हि मे देहमोहं त्यज पवनपुराधीश यत्प्रेम हेतोः गेहे वित्ते कलत्रादिषु च विवशिताः त्वत्पदं विस्मरन्ति हि मे देहमोहं त्यज पवनपुराधीश यत्प्रेम हेतोः गेहे वित्ते कलत्रादिषु च विवशिताः त्वत्पदं विस्मरन्ति
इहि मे तेहे मोहं त्वज पवनपुराधीश यत्प्रेम हेतोः हे वित्ते कलत्रादिषु च विवशिताः त्वत्पदं विस्मरन्ति इहि मे तेहे मोहं त्वज
Deha moham.
எங்க சொல்லு
First line. He me deha moham.
sorry. हि मे देह मोहं त्वज पवनपुराधीश यत् प्रेम हेतोः हे वित्ते कलत्रादिषु च विवशिताः त्वत्पदं विस्मरन्ति
Stoyam vannesh shuno va paramiha parataha, comma, sampratan in sound, sampratan chakshikarna, and then put a plus, twag, ig sound, twag, jihwadya, jihwa is tongue, so that jihwadya vikarshantyava, that's one word, so vikarshantyava shamata itaha, comma. So the first line paramiha parataha, there is a comma, then the rest of the whole thing is together, then shamata itaha, comma, kopi na tvat padabje. Sohyam vanneshu no va paramiha paratah sampratan chakshikarna tvagjehwadhya vikarshantyavashamata itah kopi na tvat padabje.
सोऽयं वह्नेषु नो वा परमिह परतः साम्प्रतं चाक्षिकर्ण त्वग्जिह्वाद्या विकर्षन्त्यवशमतैतः कोऽपि न त्वत्पदाब्जे.
Fourth line, first word, jih, half,
जिह्वाद्या.
Yeah.
सोऽयं वह्नेषु नो वा परमिह परतः साम्प्रतं चाक्षिकर्ण त्वग्जिह्वाद्या विकर्षन्त्यवशमतैतः कोऽपि न त्वत्पदाब्जे.
सोऽयं वह्नेषु नो वा परमिह परतः साम्प्रतञ्चाक्षिकर्णत्वग्जिह्वाद्या विकर्षण्यव
Vikarshant, there's a it also there, vikarshantyava.
विकर्षन्त्यव शमत इतः कोऽपि न त्वत्पदाब्जे सोऽयं वह्नेषु नो वा परमिह परतः साम्प्रतञ्चाक्षिकर्णत्वग्जिह्वाद्या विकर्षन्त्यव शमत इतः कोऽपि न त्वत्पदाब्जे.
Uncertain. Durvaro deha moho yadi punaraduna tarhi nishesha rogan hritva bhaktim dhradishtam kurutava pada pankeruhe pankajaksha nunam nana bhavante samadigatamimam muktidam vipradeham Shudre ha hanta mama kshipa vishaya rase pahi mam marutesha. He says, like the previous stanza, we said, he may they please help me not get obsessed with my body, right? That not get too attached with my body. He says, "Oh Lord, O Pankajaksha, one who has lotus eyes, if you're not able to grant me that ability to not get obsessed with my body, at least, right, what you do is you nishesha rogan, at least eradicate all the ailments and diseases that I actually have, so that bhaktim dradishtam, so that I can get complete devotion and faith in you." Right? Because he says this body that I have attained, which is a human body, like we spoke about, which is very difficult to attain, but I have got this opportunity now to now put it to good use. So let me put it to good use and not get into Shipa Vishaya Rase, no, unnecessary pleasuring things. Let me not get distracted into all of that. So at least eradicate all the ailments so that I can get a firm devotion towards you and put this body to good use and not get distracted. O Pahima Marutesha, O Lord of Guruvayur, please save me. So this is a very nice slogan to kind of, pray every day on an everyday basis, right? To say that, let me not get attached and help me to, help myself, right? It's like that. So help me so that I can put it to good use. Durvaro deha moho yadi punaradhuna, comma, tarhi nishesha rogan, and put a plus, hritva. So hritva is to get eradicate. So nishesha rogan hritva, and then a comma, bhaktim dhradishtham kuru tava pada pankeruhe pankajaksha. Durvaro deha moho yadi punaradhuna tarhi nishesha rogan hritva bhaktim dradishtham kuru tava pada pankeruhe pankajaksha.
Durvaro dehamoho yadi punaradhuna tarhi nishesharogan hrutva bhaktim dradishtham kuru tava pada pankeruhe pankajaksha. Durvaro dehamoho yadi punaradhuna tarhi nishesharogan hrutva bhaktim dradishtham kuru tava pada pankeruhe pankajaksha.
And the first word, first line, it's a short u. I think you said a long u. Durvaro.
Punaradhuna.
Adalla.
Durvaro.
Durvaro. Yeah, I think you said Durvaro. Just short
Oh,
u.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, sorry. Yeah. Durvaro.
दुर्वारो देह मोहो यदि पुनरधुना तर्हि निःशेष रोगान् हृत्वा भक्तिं त्रिदिष्टां गुरु तव पदपङ्केर्हे पङ्कजाक्ष दुर्वारो देहमोहो यदि पुनरधुना तर्हि निःशेषरोगान् हृत्वा भक्तिं त्रिदिष्टां गुरु तव पदपङ्केरुहे पङ्कजाक्ष.
Nunam nana bhavante, comma, samadhi gata mimam. Some books have samadhi gata mamum. Okay. If you have it, just change it to samadhi gata mimam. Gata mimam muktidam vipradeham, comma, kshudre ha hanta mama shipa vishaya rase, comma, pahimam marutesha. Nunam nana bhavante samadhigatamimam muktidam vipradeham kshudre ha hanta mama kshipa vishayarase pahimam marutesha.
Nunam nana bhavante samadhigatamimam muktidam vipradeham kshudram ha hantamama kshipa vishayarase pahimam marutesha.
Fourth line, first word, kshudre.
Kshudre. Sorry. Nunam nana bhavante samadhigatamimam muktidam vipradeham kshudre ha hantamama kshipa vishayarase pahimam marutesha.
नूनं नाना भवान्ते सम्मतिकतमिमं मुक्तितं विप्रतेहं श्रुत्रेह अन्तमामाशिप विषयरसे पाहि मारुतेश नूनं नाना भवान्ते समतिकतमिमं मुक्तितं विप्रतेहं श्रुत्रेहो हन्तमामाशिप विषयरसे पाहि मारुतेश.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. That completes 93. So this one, again, I'll send, maybe at the end of the class, I'll send the list of the 25 names, right? So you can keep it, anytime you see them, you can remember what it is. Okay, so let's go to 94. So 94 is Tattva Jnanotpatti Prakara Varnanam, which is the means for enlightenment. So this, I'm not going to say the meaning for every stanza, because we have I think how many, 4 more dasakams left, right? And probably have only 2-3 classes. So I want to kind of run through this. Okay, stanza 1. Shuddha Nishkama Dharmaihi Pravara Guru Gira Tatswarupam Paramte Shuddham Dehendriyadi Vyapagatam Vyaptama Vedayante Nanatvastaulya Karshaditu Gunajavapu Sangato Dhyasitam Te Banner Daru Prabedeshviva Mahadanuta Diptata Shantatadhi. It's also a little bit of it. All these 90s are tough chapters only. So Shuddha Nishkama Dharmaihi, Pravara Guru Gira Tat Swarupam Param Te, Shuddham Dehendriyadi Vyapagatam Akhila. You can break it that Vyapagatam Akhila. Vyaptam Avedayante. You can break it that ma also. Vyaptam Avedayante. So that line is continuous, no pause. Shuddha Nishkama Dharmaihi Pravara Guru Gira Tatswarupam Param Te Shuddham Dehendriyadi Vyapagatam Akila Vyaptama Vedayante.
शुद्धा निष्कामधर्मैः प्रवरगुरुगिरा तत्स्वरूपं परं ते शुद्धं देहेन्द्रियादि व्याप्तम् आवेदयन्ते शुद्धा निष्कामधर्मैः प्रवरगुरुगिरा तत्स्वरूपं परं ते शुद्धं देहेन्द्रियादि व्याप्तमखिल व्याप्तमावेदयन्ते.
Sorry. शुद्धा निष्कामधर्मैः प्रवरगुरुगिरा तत्स्वरूपं परं ते सुप्तं तेहेन्द्रियादि व्यपगतम् अखिलव्याप्तम् आवेदयन्ते.
Yeah, the first line and second line, first word is Shuddha.
Shuddha.
Yeah.
Shuddha Nishkamadharmaihi Pravaragurukira Tatswarupam Paramte Shuddham Te Hendriyadi Vyapakatam Akila Vyaptam Avedayante.
Nanatva Staulya Karshyaditu. So the ir comes after the word ka. Karshyaditu, Gunaja Vapus Sangato Dhyasitam. So that word comes together. Sangato Dhyasitam te, Vanner Daru Prabhedeshviva, Mahadanuta Deeptata Shantatadi. Short E at the end. Nanatvastaulya Karshaditu Gunajavapu Sangato Dhyasitam te Banner Daru Prabhedeshviva Mahadanuta Deeptata Shantatadhi.
नानात्वस्थौल्यकार्ष्यादितु गुणजवपुः सङ्गतो ध्यासितं ते वह्ने दारुप्रभेदेष्विव महदनुता दीप्तता शान्ततादि. नानात्वस्थौल्यकार्ष्यादितु गुणजवपुः सङ्गतोऽध्यासितं ते वह्नेर्दारुप्रभेदेष्विव महदनुता दीप्तता शान्ततादि
नानात्वस्तौल्य कार्ष्यादितु गुणजवपुसङ्गतोऽध्यासितं ते वह्निर्तारुप्रभेदेष्विव महतनुतादिप्तदा शान्ततादि नानात्वस्तौल्यकार्ष्यादितु गुणज वपुसङ्गतोऽध्यासितं ते वह्नेर्तारुप्रभेदेष्विव महदनुतादिप्तदा शान्ततादि.
Okay, it's 7:45. Let's switch halfway. Kanan, you can be a student. Prabha, you can be a student. Stanza 2. आचार्याख्याधरस्तारनि समनुमिलचिष्यरूपोत्तरारण्या वेदोद्भासितेन स्फुटतरपरिबोधाग्निना दह्यमाने कर्माणि वासना तत्कृततनुभुवन भ्रान्तिकान्तारपूरे दाह्या भावेन विद्या शिखिनि च विरते त्वन्मयी खल्ववस्था आचार्याख्या. That's one word. Acharyakhya dharastarani samanu milach. Each sound. Samanu milach. Chishya rupotharar. Ra is there. And then you put a plus there. So that word goes to the next line. So rupotararan yavedhot. You can't break there also. It actually goes all the way through actually. Because Rupotavaran Yavedod Bhasitena. And then you have to put a comma. So the whole first line, then after Bhasitena, and unfortunately you can't separate it because of the Sandhi there, because it's Rupota Arani, the in Ya, which is coming the next line, it's actually a Ni and then A. So Avedod Udbhasitena, multiple words. Anyway, so after Bhasitena, comma, Sputatara Pari Bodhagnina Dahyamane. आचार्याख्याधरस्तारनि समनुमिलचिष्यरूपोत्तरारण्या वेदोद्भासितेन स्फुटतरपरिबोधाग्निना दह्यमाने
आचार्याख्याधरस्तारनि समनुमिलचिष्य रूपोत्तरारन् यावेदोद्भासितेन स्फुटतर परिबोधाग्निना दह्यमाने आचार्याख्याधरस्तराणि समनुमिलचिष्य रूपोत्तरारन् यावेदोपासितेन स्फुटतर परिबोधाग्नि दह्यमाने बोधाग्निना दह्यमाने
आचार्याख्याधरस्तारणि समनुमिलचिष्यरूपोत्तरारण्या वेदोद्भासितेन स्फुटतरपरिबोधाग्निना दह्यमाने आचार्याख्याधरस्तारणि समनुमिलचिष्यरूपोत्तरारण्या वेदोद्भासितेन स्फुटतरपरिबोधाग्निना दह्यमाने
कर्माली long e vasana tat krita tanu bhuvana bhranti kantara pure comma dahya bhavena vidya shikhini cha virate comma tvanmayi khalvavastha कर्माली वासना तत्कृततनुभुवन भ्रान्तिकान्तारपूरे दाह्या भावेन विद्या शिखिनि च विरते त्वन्मयी खल्ववस्था
कर्माली वासना तत्कृततनुभुवन भ्रान्तिकान्तारपूरे दाक्या भावेन विद्या शिखिनि च विरते त्वन्मयी कल्पवस्ता कर्माली वासना तत्कृत तनुभुवन भ्रांति कांतारपूरे दाक्या भावेन विद्या शिखिनि च विरते त्वन्मयी कल्पवस्ता
कर्माली वासना तत्कृत तनुभवन भ्रांति कांतारपूरे दाह्या भावेन विद्या शिखिनि च विरते त्वन्मयी खल्ववस्था.
Upon the third line, krita tanu bhuvana. You said bhavana, bhuvana.
कर्माली वासना तत्कृत तनुभुवन भ्रांति कांतारपूरे दाह्या भावेन विद्या शिखिनि च विरते त्वन्मयी खल्ववस्था.
Answer 3. एवं त्वत्प्राप्तितोऽन्यो न हि खलु निखिल क्लेशहानेरुपायो नैकान्तात्यन्तिकास्ते कृषिवदगदषाड्गुण्यषट्कर्मयोगाः दुर्वैकल्यैरकल्या अपि निगमपताः तत्फलान्यप्यवाप्ता मत्तास्त्वां विस्मरन्तः प्रसजति पतने यान्त्यनन्तान् विषादान्. एवं त्वत् प्राप्तितोन्यो नहि खलु निखिल क्लेश हानेरुपायो नैकान्तात्यन्ति कास्ते कृषि वदगद षाड्गुण्य षट्कर्म योगाः. एवं त्वत्प्राप्तितोऽन्यो न हि खलु निखिल क्लेशहानेरुपायो नैकान्तात्यन्तिकास्ते कृषिवदगद षाड्गुण्य षट्कर्मयोगाः.
அந்த இதுல ரெண்டாவது லைன்ல நைகாந்தாத்யாந்திகாஸ்தே அதுக்கப்புறம் காமாவ
after kaste, yeah, kaste அப்புறம் there's a comma.
एवं त्वत्प्राप्तितोऽन्यो न हि खलु निखिल क्लेशहाने रूपायो नैकान्तात्यन्तिकास्ते कृषिवदगद षाड्गुण्य षट्कर्मयोगाः. एवं त्वत्प्राप्तितोऽन्यो न हि खलु निखिल क्लेशहाने रूपायो नैकान्तात्यन्तिकास्ते कृषिवदगद षाड्गुण्य षट्कर्मयोगाः.
सेकेंड लाइन ला नैकान्तात् यान्ति कास्ते वा yanti kaste.
Yanti kaste. If you have a kaha, if you have visarga, the putta is there, but it's kaste.
Okay.
காஸ்தேக்கு அப்புறம் கம்மா இருக்காங்க ராஜேஷ்.
ஆமா அதுக்கப்புறம் காமா. யா காஸ்தே.
एवं त्वत्प्राप्तितोऽन्यो न हि खलु निखिल क्लेशहानिरूपायो नैकान्तात्यन्तिकास्ते कृषिवदगदषाड्गुण्यषट्कर्मयोगः. योगाः. एवं त्वत्प्राप्तितोऽन्यो न हि खलु निखिल क्लेशहानिरूपायो नैकान्तात्यन्तिकास्ते कृषिवदगदषाड्गुण्यशक्तिकर्मयोगः.
last word षट्कर्मयोगाः.
षट्कर्मयोगाः.
durvai kalyair akalya. If you want to break that ra, kalyair akalya api nigama pataha. That is there. Remove visarga comma. Tat phalan yapyavapta. That's one word. Phalan yapyavapta comma. Mattas tvam vismarantaha comma. Prasajati patane yantyanantan vishadan. दुर्वैकल्यैरकल्या अपि निगमपताः तत्फलान्यप्यवाप्तान् मत्तास्त्वां विस्मरन्तः प्रसजति पतने यान्त्यनन्तान् विषादान्.
ராஜேஷ் அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லைன் இது பண்றப்ப இல்ல கடைசியில வாப்தாகவா
வாப்தாதான் அந்த இடத்துல விசர்கா இல்ல. அந்த இண்டிவிஜுவல் வேர்ட் ஹேஸ் a விசர்கா, பட் ஐ திங்க் in the context of the full sentence there is no விசர்கா.
விசர்கா இல்லையா? ஓகே. दुर्वै कल्यैरकल्या अपि निगमपदाः तत्फलान्यप्यवाप्ता मत्तः त्वां विस्मरन्तः प्रसजति पतने यान्त्यनन्तान् विषादान्. दुर्वै कल्यैरकल्या अपि निगमपदाः तत्फलान् यप्यवाप्ता मत्तः त्वां विस्मरन्तः प्रसजति पतने यान्त्यनन्तान् विषादान्.
दुर्वैकल्यैरकल्या अपि निगमपताः तत्फलान्यप्यवाप्ता मत्तास्त्वां विस्मरन्तः प्रसज्जति पतने यान्त्यनन्तान् विषादान्. दुर्वैकल्यैरकल्या अपि निगमपताः तत्फलान्यप्यवाप्ता मत्तास्त्वां विस्मरन्तः प्रसजति पतने यान्त्यनन्तान् विषादान्.
That's a four. त्वल्लोकादन्यलोकः क्वनु भयरहितो यत्परार्धद्वयान्ते त्वद्भीतः सत्यलोकेऽपि न सुखवसतिः पद्मभूः पद्मनाभ. एवं भावे त्वधर्मार्जितबहुतमसां काकता नारकाणां तन्मे त्वं छिन्दि बन्धं वरद कृपणबन्धो कृपापूरसिन्धो. त्वल् lokad anya lokaha. If you want to break it, the da you can break it. Twal lokad anya lokaha is there. Put a ih sound there. Lokah kwanu bhaya rahito, comma, yat parardha dvayante, comma, tvat bhitas satya lokepi, comma, na sukha vasatihi, put a f, padma bhuhu, put a f again, padmanabha. त्वल्लोकादन्यलोकः क्वनु भयरहितो यत्परार्धद्वयान्ते त्वद्भीतः सत्यलोकेऽपि न सुखवसतिः पद्मभूः पद्मनाभ.
त्वल्लोकादन्यलोकः क्वनु भयरहितो यत्परार्धद्वयान्ते त्वद्भीतः सत्यलोकेऽपि न सुखवसतिः पद्मभूः पद्मनाभ. त्वल्लोकादन्यलोकः क्वनु भयरहितो यत्परार्धद्वयान्ते त्वद्भीतः सत्यलोकेऽपि न सुखवसतिः पद्मभूः पद्मनाभ.
त्वल्लोकादन्यलोकः क्वनु भयरहितो यत्परार्धद्वयान्ते त्वद्भीतः सत्यलोकेऽपि न सुखवसतिः पद्मभूः पद्मनाभ. त्वल्लोकादन्यलोकः क्वनु भयरहितो यत्परार्धद्वयान्ते त्वद्भीतः सत्यलोकेऽपि न सुखवसतिः पद्मभूः पद्मनाभ.
एवं भावे त्वधर्मार्जित बहु तमसां, कॉमा, का कथा नारकाणां, कॉमा, तन्मे त्वं छिन्दि बन्धं, कॉमा, वरद कृपण बन्धो कृपा पूर सिन्धो. It's a nice stanza. I'll just maybe explain the meaning of this one. So he says, O Padmanabha, means the one from whose nabhi the lotus comes, right? Padmanabha. So he says, other than your world, which is Vaikuntham, says in no other worlds are anybody not having any fear. fear of existence, right? So he says, which world is free from fear? No other world other than your world is free from fear. He says, even Padma Bhuhu, the one who has come from the lotus, which is Brahma, even he is also afraid, because Satyalok also Dvipararde, at the end of the 2 Parardas of 100 years, that Brahma is also gone. So even his life is also not fixed. So even that Brahma is also concerned that he can only do so much, right? His life is also coming to an end. So no world other than your world is, that's why 12 lokas anya lokaha. No place is completely free of any fear. So when even Brahma is not sure, Ka Katha Narakanam, all the normal human beings, what to say about us, right? And we accumulate so many sins through our lifetime, right? So he says we have to all be even more afraid, because Brahma does very little sin and even he is afraid he has an end. We accumulate so many sins, so what to say about us? So he says, oh, Varada means one who gives boons all the time. Kripana Bandho means one who protects people who suffer. Kripa Pura Sindho means one who's filled with compassion. So, oh Lord, please eradicate all these bonds that I'm actually bound by, right? Because of which I'm committing all these sins non-stop. Please cut all these bonds that I have today. So, evam bhave twadharma, we already said that. Evam bhave twadharmarjita bahutamasam kakatha narakanam tanme tvam chindi bandham Bharada kripana bandho kripa pura sindho.
एवं भावे त्वधर्माजित बहुतमसां काकता नारकाना तन्मे त्वं चिन्ति बन्धं वरद कृपण बन्धो कृपा पूर सिन्धो एवं भावे त्वधर्माजित बहुतमसां काकता नारकाना तन्मे त्वं चिन्ति बन्धं वरद कृपण बन्धो कृपा पूर सिन्धो
एवं भावे त्वधर्मार्जित बहुतमसां काकता नारकाणां तन्मे त्वं चिन्ति बन्धं वरद कृपण बन्धो कृपापूर सिन्धो एवं भावे त्वधर्मार्जित बहुतमसां काकता नारकाणां तन्मे त्वं चिन्ति बन्धं वरद कृपण बन्धो कृपापूर सिन्धो.
That's fine. Yatarthya tvanmayasyaiva hi mama na vibho vastuto bandhamokshau maya vidyatanubhyam tavatu virachitau swapna bodhopamautau padde jivat vimuktim gatavati cha vidha tavati tavadeko bhungte dehadrumasto vishaya phalarasana paro nirvyatatma. So yatarthyat. So the ir comes after the tha. Yatarthyat it tvan mayasyaiva hi mama na vibho, comma, vastuto bandha mokshau, comma, maya vidya tanubhyam, comma, tava tu virachitau swapna bodhopamau tau. Yatartya tvanmayasyaiva hi mama na vibho vastuto bandhamokshau maya vidyatanubhyam tavatu virachitau swapna bodhopamau tau.
यातार्त्यात् त्वन्मयस्यैव हि मम न विभो वस्तुतो बन्धमोक्षौ माया विद्यातनुभ्यां तव तु विरचितौ स्वप्नबोधोपमौ तौ यातार्त्यात् त्वन्मयस्यैव हि मम न विभो वस्तुतो बन्धमोक्षौ माया विद्यातनुभ्यां तव तु विरचितौ स्वप्नबोधोपमौ तौ
याथार्थ्यात् त्वन्मयस्यैव हि मम न विभो वस्तुतो बन्धमोक्षौ माया विद्यातनुभ्यां तव तु विरचितौ स्वप्नबोधोपमौ तौ याथार्थ्यात् त्वन्मयस्यैव हि मम न विभो वस्तुतो बन्धमोक्षौ माया विद्या तनुभ्यां तव तु विरचितौ स्वप्नबोधोपमौ तौ
भद्दे जीवत् विमुक्तिं गतवति च बिधा कॉमा तावती तावदेको कॉमा भुंक्ते देह द्रुमस्थो कॉमा विषय फल रसान्नापरो निर्व्यतात्मा बद्धे जीवद्विमुक्तिं गतवति च भिधा तावती तावदेको भुंक्ते देहद्रुमस्थो विषयफलरसान्नापरो निर्व्यतात्मा
बद्धे जीवद्विमुक्तिं गतवति च बिदा तावती तावदेको भुङ्क्ते देहद्रुमस्थो विषयफलरसान्नापरो निर्व्यतात्मा बद्धे जीवद्विमुक्तिं गतवति च बिदा तावती तावदेको भुङ्क्ते देहद्रुमस्थो विषयफलरसान्नापरो निर्व्यतात्मा
बद्धे जीवद्विमुक्तिं गतवति च बिदा तावती तावदेको भुङ्क्ते देहद्रुमस्थो विषयफलरसान्नापरो निर्व्यतात्मा बद्धे जीवद्विमुक्तिं गतवति च बिदा तावती तावदेको भुङ्क्ते देहद्रुमस्थो विषयफलरसान्नापरो निर्व्यतात्मा
6 जीवन्मुक्तत्वमेवं विदमिति वचसा किं फलं दूरदूरे तन्नामाशुद्धबुद्धेः न च लघुमनसः शोधनं भक्तितोऽन्यते तन्मे विष्णो कृषिष्ठाः त्वयि कृतसकलप्रार्पणं भक्तिभारं येन स्यां मंशु किञ्चित् गुरुवचनमिलत्वत्प्रबोधस्त्वदात्मा जीवन्मुक्त त्वमेवं विधमिति वचसा किं फलं दूर दूरे one line continuous comma तन्नामाशुद्ध one word तन्नामाशुद्ध बुद्धेः so put a visarga and a comma there next on top of that na there is a ir that goes away na cha lagu manasash shodhanam bhakti tonyate जीवन्मुक्तत्वमेवं भिदमिति वचसा किं फलं दूरदूरे तन्नामाशुद्धबुद्धेः न च लघुमनसः शोधनं भक्तितोऽन्यते
जीवन्मुक्तत्वमेवं विदमिति वचसा किं फलं दूरदूरे तन्नामाशुद्धबद्धेः न च लघुमनसः शोधनं भक्तितोऽन्यते जीवन्मुक्तत्वमेवं विदमिति वचसा किं फलं दूरदूरे बुद्धेः न च लघुमनसः शोधनं भक्तितोऽन्यते
जीवन्मुक्तत्वम् एवं विदतमिति वचसा किं फलं दूरदूरे तन्नामाशुद्धबुद्धेः न च लघुमनसः शोधनं भक्तितोऽन्यत्
Prabha, the first line vidhamiti
जीवन्मुक्तत्वम् एवं विधमिति वचसा किं फलं दूरदूरे तन्नामाशुद्धबुद्धेः न च लघुमनसः शोधनं भक्तितोऽन्यत्
तन्मे विष्णो कृषिष्ठाः that is goes away visarga comma त्वयि कृत सकल प्रार्पणं भक्तिभारं comma येन स्यां मंशु किंचित गुरु वचन मिलत इत त्वत् प्रबोधस त्वदात्मा just one line there no pause तन्मे विष्णु कृषिष्ठाः त्वयि कृत सकल प्रार्पणं भक्तिभारं येन स्यां मंशु किंचित गुरुवचन मिलत त्वत् प्रबोधस्त्वदात्मा
तन्मे विष्णुकृषिष्टाः त्वयि कृत सकल प्रार्पणं भक्तिभारं येन स्यामंशु किञ्चित् गुरुवचनमिलत् त्वत्प्रबोधस्त्वदात्मा तन्मे विष्णुकृशिष्टाः त्वयि कृत सकल प्रार्पणं भक्तिभारं येन स्यामंशु किञ्चित् गुरुवचनमिलत् त्वत्प्रबोधस्त्वदात्मा
तन्मे विष्णो कृषिष्टाः त्वयि कृतसकलप्रार्पणं भक्तिभारं येन स्यामंशु किञ्चित् त्वत्प्रबोधस्त्वदात्मा तन्मे विष्णो कृषिष्टाः त्वयि कृतसकलप्रार्पणं भक्तिभारं येन स्यामंशु किञ्चित् गुरुवचनमिलत् त्वत्प्रबोधस्त्वदात्मा।
शब्दब्रह्मण्यपीह प्रयतितमनसः त्वां न जानन्ति केचित् कष्टं वन्द्यश्रमास्ते चिरतरमिह गां बिभ्रते निष्प्रसूतिं यस्यां विश्वाभिरामाः सकलमलहरा दिव्यलीलावताराः सच्चित् सान्द्रं च रूपं तव न निगदितं तां न वाचं भ्रियासम् शब्द brahmanyapih prayatita manasa. So that is goes away, visarga comma. Tvam na jananti kechit comma. Kashtam vandya shramaste comma. Chirataramiha gam bibhrate nishprasutim. Shabda brahmanyapih prayatita manasah त्वां न जानन्ति केचित् कष्टं वन्द्यश्रमास्ते चिरतरमिह गां बिभ्रते निष्प्रसूतिम्
शब्द ब्रह्मण्यपीह प्रयतित मनसः त्वां न जानन्ति केचित् कष्टं वन्द्यश्रमाते चिरतरमिह गां बिभ्रते निष्प्रसूतिम् शब्द ब्रह्मण्यपीह प्रयतित मनसः त्वां न जानन्ति केचित् कष्टं वन्द्यश्रमाते चिरतरमिह गां बिभ्रते निष्प्रसूतिम्
शब्दब्रह्मण्यपीह प्रयतितमनसः त्वां न जानन्ति केचित् कष्टं वन्द्यश्रमास्ते चिरतरमिह गां बिभ्रते निष्प्रसूतिम् शब्दब्रह्मण्यपीह प्रयतितमनसः त्वां न जानन्ति केचित् कष्टं वन्ध्यश्रमास्ते चिरतरमिह गां बिभ्रते निष्प्रसूतिम्
यस्यां विश्वाभिरामाः. So that is there, that goes away, visarga comma ramaha sakala malahara divya leelavataraha comma सच्चित् सान्द्रं च रूपं कमा तव न निगदितं तां न वाचं भ्रियासम् यस्यां विश्वाभिरामाः सकलमलहरा दिव्यलीलावताराः सच्चित् सान्द्रं च रूपं तव न निगदितं तां न वाचं भ्रियासम्
यस्यां विश्वाभिरामाः सकलमलहरा दिव्यलीलावताराः सच्चित् सान्द्रं च रूपं तव न निगदितं तां न वाचं प्रियासम् यस्यां विश्वाभिरामाः सकलमलहरा दिव्यलीलावताराः सच्चित् सान्द्रं च रूपं तव न निगदितं तां न वाचं प्रियासम्
यस्यां विश्वाभिरामाः सकलमलहरा दिव्यलीलावताराः सच्चित् सान्द्रं च रूपं तव न निगदितं तां न वाचं भ्रियासम् यस्यां विश्वाभिरामाः सकलमलहरा दिव्यलीलावताराः सच्चित्सान्द्रं च रूपं तव न निगदितं तां न वाचं भ्रियासम्
यो यावान् यादृशो वा त्वमिति किमपि नैवावगच्छामि भूमन् एवं चानन्यभावः त्वदनुभजनमेवाद्रिये चैद्यवैरिन् त्वल्लिङ्गानां त्वदङ्घ्रिप्रियजनसदसां दर्शनस्पर्शनादिः भूयान्मे त्वत्प्रपूजा नतिनुति गुणकर्मानुकीर्त्यादरोऽपि यो यावान् यादृशो वा त्वमिति किमपि नैवावगच्छामि भूमन्, put in at the end of that line, comma. Next line you may have a in and a ne, you can strike that, just becomes a evan chananya bhavaha, so that is goes away, visarga comma, bhavaha, twadanu bhajanam evadriye, if you want to break it, twadanu bhajanam evadriye chaidya vairin. यो यावान् यादृशो वा त्वमिति किमपि नैवावगच्छामि भूमन् एवं चानन्यभावः त्वदनुभजनमेवाद्रिये चैद्यवैरिन्
यो यावान् यादृशो वा त्वमिति किमपि नैवावगच्छामि भूमन् न एवञ्चानन्यभावः त्वदनुभजन मेवाद्रिये चैद्यवैरिन् यो यावान् यादृशो वा त्वमिति किमपि नैवावगच्छामि भूमन् एवञ्चानन्यभावः त्वदनुभजन मेवाद्रिये चैद्यवैरिन्
यो यावान् यादृशो वा त्वमिति किमपि नैवावगच्छामि भूमन् एवं चानन्यभावाः त्वदनुभजनाम् एवाद्रिये चैद्यवैरिन्
from the second line, second line first word, evan chananya bhavaha.
Okay.
I think you said bhavaha there, and twadanu bhajanam evadriye.
यो यावान् यादृशो वा त्वमिति किमपि नैवावगच्छामि भूमन् एवं चानन्यभावः त्वदनुभजनाम् एवाद्रिये चैद्यवैरिन्
त्वल्लिङ्गानां त्वदङ्घ्रि प्रिय जन सदसां comma darshana sparshanadihi visargan comma there. Next line on top of that bhu, there is a ir that goes away. Bhuyan me tvat prapuja nati nuti guna karmanu kirtyadaropi. That's one word, karmanu kirtyadaropi. त्वल्लिङ्गानां त्वदङ्घ्रि प्रियजन सदसां दर्शन स्पर्शनादिः भूयान्मे त्वत्प्रपूजा नतिनुति गुणकर्मानुकीर्त्यादरोऽपि.
அந்த செகண்ட் லைன்ல त्वत्पूजा त्वत्पूजाன்னு பூஜான்னு त्वत्पूजा प्रपूजाना
प्रपूजा नति नुति
प्रपूजा இது வந்து त्वत्पूजा नति नुतिன்றது மாதிரி.
Just change it to prapuja. I don't think it makes too much of meaning. It must be the same thing.
त्वल्लिङ्गानां त्वदङ्घ्रि प्रियजन सदसां दर्शन स्पर्शनादिः भूयान्मे त्वत्प्रपूजा नतिनुति गुणकर्मानुकीर्त्यादरोऽपि त्वल्लिङ्गानां त्वदङ्घ्रि प्रियजन सदसां दर्शन स्पर्शनादिः भूयान्मे त्वत्प्रपूजा नतिनुति गुण कर्माणु कीर्त्यादरोऽपि
त्वल्लिङ्गानां त्वदङ्घ्रि प्रियजनसदसां दर्शनस्पर्शनादिः भूयान्मे त्वत्प्रपूजा नतिनुति गुणकर्माणुकीर्त्यादरोऽपि त्वल्लिङ्गानां त्वदङ्घ्रि प्रियजनसदसां दर्शनास्पर्शनादिः भूयान्मे त्वत्प्रपूजा नतिनुति गुणकर्माणुकीर्त्यादरोऽपि
That's a 9. यद्यल्लभ्येत तत्तव समुपहृतं देवदासोऽस्मि तेऽहं त्वद्गेहोन्मार्जनाद्यं भवतु मम मुहुः कर्म निर्मायमेव सूर्याग्निब्राह्मणात्मादिषु लसितचतुर्बाहुमाराधये त्वां त्वत्प्रेमार्द्रत्वरूपो मम सततमभिष्यन्दतां भक्तियोगः यद्यल् लभ्येथ तत् तत् तव, so to tat तव samupahrutam comma देव दासोऽस्मि तेहं comma त्वत् गेहोन मार्जनाद्यम comma bhavatu mama muhuhu, is there put a ih sound, muhu karma nirmayameva यद्यल्लभ्येत तत्तव समुपहृतं देवदासोऽस्मि तेऽहं त्वद्गेहोन्मार्जनाद्यं भवतु मम मुहुः कर्म निर्मायमेव
यद्यल्लभ्येत तत्तव समुपहृतं देवदासोऽस्मि तेऽहं त्वद्गेहोन्मार्जनाद्यं भवतु मम मुहुः कर्म निर्मायमेव यद्यल्लभ्येत तत्तव समुपहृतं देवदासोऽस्मि तेऽहं त्वद्गेहोन्मार्जनाद्यं भवतु मम मुहुः कर्म निर्मायमेव
यद्यल्लभ्येत तत्तव समुपहृतं देवदासोऽस्मि तेऽहं त्वद्गेहोन्मार्जनाद्यं भवतु मम मुहुः कर्म निर्मायमेव यद्यल्लभ्येत तत्तव समुपहृतं देवदासोऽस्मि तेऽहं त्वद्गेहोन्मार्जनाद्यं भवतु मम मुहुः कर्म निर्मायमेव
सूर्याग्नि ब्राह्मणात्मादिषु comma लसित चतुर बाहुम आराधये त्वां comma त्वत् प्रेमार्द्र द्रसों त्वत् प्रेमार्द्र त्वरूपो comma मम सततम अभिष्यन्दताम, if you want to break it, अभिष्यन्दताम भक्ति योगः सूर्याग्नि ब्राह्मणात्मादिषु लसित चतुर्बाहुमाराधये त्वां त्वत्प्रेमार्द्रत्वरूपो मम सततमभिष्यन्दतां भक्ति योगः
सूर्याग्नि ब्राह्मणात्मादिषु लसित चतुर्बाहुमाराधये त्वां त्वत्प्रेमार्द्रत्वरूपो मम सततमभिष्यन्दतां भक्ति योगः सूर्याग्नि ब्राह्मणात्मादिषु लसित चतुर्बाहुमाराधये त्वां त्वत्प्रेमार्द्रत्वरूपो मम सततमभिष्यन्दतां भक्ति योगः
सूर्याग्नि ब्राह्मणात्मादिषु लसित चतुर्बाहुमाराध्य आराधये त्वां त्वत्प्रेमार्द्रत्वरूपो मम सततमभिष्यन्दतां भक्तियोगः सूर्याग्नि ब्राह्मणात्मादिषु लसित चतुर्बाहुमाराधये त्वां त्वत्प्रेमार्द्रत्वरूपो भर्तृत्वरूपो मम सततमभिष्यन्दतां भक्तियोगः
ऐक्यं ते दान होम व्रत नियम तपः सांख्य योगैर्दुरापं त्वत्सङ्गेनैव गोप्यः किल सुकृतितमा प्रापुरानन्द सान्द्रं भक्तेष्वन्येषु भूयस्वपि बहुमनिषे भक्तिमेव त्वमासां तन्मे त्वद्भक्तिमेव दृढय हरगदान् कृष्ण वातालयेश. I'll just say this last meaning since we have some time here. So in this, he talks about all the various ways of enlightenment, right? In the 9 stanzas. And then the 10th one, he says, the aikyam, the union with you could be obtained through dana by doing a lot of gifts and charity to Brahmins and everybody, through homa to performing all the sacrifices, vratam, which is kind of all the, the observance of the various vows and everything, and niyama and all the other doing the Vedas, everything, tapas through sacrifices, penances, right? And through Sankhya Yoga, through the Sankhya method of philosophy. So all these different ways are there to actually attain union with you. However, he says, the gopis wouldn't do any of these things, attained you purely by devotion only, right? And they attained that state very easily with just by devotion. So he says, even though you have lot of devotees all over, who attain through various means of this, you still hold the gopis as the topmost in terms of your devotees, because they were so in love with you and devoted to you, not through any of these other means, but by pure devotion. So he says, therefore, O Krishna Vatalayesha, O Lord of Guru Ayur, please give to me also, eradicate my ailments, and also give to me supreme devotion, so that I can also become like these gopis and attain you through the path of devotion itself. So aikyam te dana homa vrata niyama tapas sankhya yogair durapam kama tvat sangenaiva gopyah kama kila sukriti tama. Sukriti means do good deeds. So sukriti tama prapurananda sandram. ऐक्यं ते दान होम व्रत नियम तपः सांख्य योगैर्दुरापं त्वत्सङ्गेनैव गोप्यः किल सुकृतितमा प्रापुरानन्द सान्द्रम्.
ऐक्यं ते दान होम व्रत नियम तपः सांख्य योगैर्दुरापं त्वत्सङ्गेनैव गोप्यः किल सुकृतितमा प्रापुरानन्द सान्द्रम्. ऐक्यं ते दान होम व्रत नियम तपः सांख्य योगैर्दुरापं त्वत्सङ्गेनैव गोप्यः किल सुकृतितमा प्रापुरानन्द सान्द्रम्.
ராஜேஷ் ஜி தமாக்கு அப்புறம் அந்த விசர்க்கம் எடுத்து போடணுமா?
இல்ல, அங்க இல்லங்க சுக்ருதி தமா இல்ல, விசர்கம் இல்லையங்க. இருக்கா உங்களுக்கு? If you have it, just remove it. I don't have it. Sukriti tama, right? After that.
ஆமா, ஓகே.
ऐक्यं ते दान होम व्रत नियम तपः सांख्य योगैर्दुरापं त्वत्सङ्गेनैव गोप्यः किल सुकृतितमा प्रापुरानन्द सान्द्रम्. ऐक्यं ते दान होम व्रत नियम तपः सांख्य योगैर्दुरापं त्वत्सङ्गेनैव गोप्यः किल सुकृतितमा प्रापुरानन्द सान्द्रम्.
भक्तेष्वन्येषु भूयस्वपि कम बहु मनुषे भक्तिमेव त्वमासां कम तन्मे त्वत् भक्तिमेव द्रडय हर गदान् कम कृष्ण वातालयेश. भक्तेष्वन्येषु भूयस्वपि बहुमनुषे भक्तिमेव त्वमासां तन्मे त्वद्भक्तिमेव द्रडय हर गदान् कृष्ण वातालयेश.
भक्तेष्वन्येषु भूयस्वपि बहुमनुषे भक्तिमेव त्वमासां तन्मे त्वद्भक्तिमेव दृढय हर गदान् कृष्ण वातालयेश. भक्तेष्वन्येषु भूयस्वपि बहुमने मनुषे भक्तिमेव त्वमासां तन्मे त्वद्भक्तिमेव दृढय हरगदान् कृष्णवातालयेश
भक्तेष्वन्येषु भूयस्वपि बहुमनुषे भक्तिमेव त्वमासां तन्मे त्वद्भक्तिमेव दृढय हरगदान् कृष्णवातालयेश
Dradhaya. Fourth line. Dradhaya.
भक्तेष्वन्येषु भूयस्वपि बहुमनुषे भक्तिमेव त्वमासां तन्मे त्वद्भक्तिमेव दृढय हरगदान् कृष्णवातालयेश
Krishnaaya Parabrahmane Namaha. In the class here. Sandhranandhavabodhatmakamanupamitam kaladeshabadebhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamashatasahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam drishtamatre पुनरुर्पुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you all. So we still have 3 more chapters left. But the 96 and 99 is pretty intense in meaning, which I don't want to miss. So we'll somehow figure out, we have 2 more sessions before our Parayanam. So I think without the meaning, we'll be able to complete it. So I'll see what we can do. Either I'll send the meaning or we'll figure out what else can be done. Okay?
No, Ganesh, don't. நீங்க சொல்லணும், Ganesh. I was going to say, you know,
I know.
because
96 and 99 are very good chapters. So I definitely want to spend some time.
I know, Rajesh, I only come for the meaning, Rajesh. நான் என்ன பண்ண சொல்லுங்க, வேற ஒண்ணும் ஏற மாட்டேங்குது.
நீங்க பாராயணத்துக்கு அப்புறம் அந்த ஒரு கிளாஸ் எக்ஸ்டெண்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாமே.
பண்ணிக்கலாம். See, no, it's not the end of the world. I just want to finish it before you all do the Sampurna Narayanam.
நீங்க உங்களோட இது ரொம்ப கரெக்ட் ராஜேஷ், அது முடிக்கணும் நம்ம.
You know, it'll be a good thing for you also, right, to finish all 100 and then come and chant all 100. So I don't want to leave that one thing hanging out, right? That will just it won't be good.
இல்ல அப்படி வேணும்னா நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா, நீங்க ரெகுலர் இதுல போங்க, ஸ்பீட் போல. இல்ல அந்த 10th குள்ள இன்னும் ஒரு கிளாஸ் வேணும்னா எல்லாரும் அவேலபிளா இருந்தா we can try to do.
That's what we'll probably do. We'll probably fit in one class just for the 99 because 99th வந்து கொஞ்சம் டைம் எடுக்கும் அந்த மீனிங் அதுக்கு. So we'll probably, you know, it's praising the greatness of the Lord, so I don't want to miss that. So we'll probably have a dedicated class for 99 and then the next 2 classes we'll do 95 and 96. We'll figure something out. Okay?
Sure.
Okay, Prabha, any time irukku, so you know. Okay.
I'll definitely try.
All right. Okay,
Thank
bye.
you.
Oh, see that.
Bye. Bye.